Hello, good evening. This is UTV Live.
Tonight at 6, Starmer fights on. But as the King lays out the government's plans for the coming year, the Northern Ireland Troubles Bill isn't mentioned.
What the ultimate outcome is unclear, but I think one thing's for sure. Keir Starmer is wounded beyond repair and is now going to be a lame duck Prime Minister for whatever length of time he lasts.
Also ahead, a former police officer speaks out over the handling of a sex case, telling UTV the alarm was raised about danger to women.
And an arson attack destroys a car showroom in Garvagh.
Well, that's the rest of the day's news, sport, weather and...
A great turnout for day one of the Balmoral Show, the most important date on the agricultural calendar. And the sun has made an appearance too.
Sir Keir Starmer has set out his government's plans for the next year amid rampant speculation that he will face a challenge to his leadership tomorrow.
As the state opening of Parliament got underway, the UK Health Minister, Wes Streeting, let it be known that he's planning to resign tomorrow. All this comes as King Charles outlined the legislative timetable for the government, but there was no mention of the proposed Troubles Bill.
We'll speak to the Secretary of State live from Westminster in a moment. He's with our political editor, Tracy McGee. But first, Stuart Robson reports on today's developments.
Amid pomp at Parliament, arrived a Prime Minister in peril. A day after internal wrangling, Sir Keir Starmer's plans were set out by the King, plans the PM might not even be in a position to see through.
My government believes that the United Kingdom should be a country fair for all and a place where every child is included in the nation's highest aspirations.
Rewind a few hours earlier.
Are you going to stand for leader?
It's not often that on the day when a Prime Minister is due to lay out their government's plans, that someone who could be vying for your job walks through your front door. What exactly was said between Wes Streeting and Keir Starmer during their 17-minute meeting isn't known. Speculation is growing, however, that the Health Secretary could resign as early as Thursday.
Are you going to resign, Mr Streeting?
Do you want the job or not?
Away from all the talk of who'll be at the top, the King set out what Labour hopes to achieve this new term, including economic and national security. What was absent was any mention of Northern Ireland, particularly around the Troubles Bill, Labour's proposals to replace the Legacy Act, first introduced by the Conservatives. The expectation was that it would be included.
It's not something that MPs are all clamouring for, and it's not something maybe that's everyday discussion here, but it has to be resolved to allow particularly victims and survivors, but all of us as a society to move forward together to a shared and reconciled future.
Its omission disappointed the leader of the TUV.
I suspect that since our Secretary of State is so beholden to the Dublin government, that it may have something to do with the fact that he's still waiting their green light, and he foolishly put himself in a position under the framework that he has with them that he seems to require their support, which of course is a preposterous situation in the first place.
Amendments to the Troubles Bill are expected to be lodged in Parliament, but the DUP leader isn't convinced they'll be acknowledged.
Sticking with the bill to repeal and replace a promise from 2 years ago that they still haven't delivered, and now they're not even hoping to repeal or replace. The ICRI are in difficulty over the last number of days. We need to see this government engage in tax. We need to see this government engage in fuel duty, in assisting homes that have been taxed to death, businesses that have been taxed to death.
Internal disputes within the Labour Party are causing concern amongst other local representatives.
I think the rest of the nation becomes an afterthought until we get through this unstabilising effect of who's going to be Prime Minister. I think what I see in this Prime Minister and Keir Starmer is that lawyer side coming out of him. He's winning an argument that he is determined to win.
People up and down the country are desperate for leadership, they're desperate for positivity, and from the day and hour they got through the door, it has been nothing but doom and gloom. My constituents didn't need to be told that, they were already living it.
The debate on the government's proposals could last for nearly a week, potentially longer than the man who wrote them has left in office. Stuart Robson, UTV Live.
Well, let's cross now live to our political editor, Tracy McGee, who's in Westminster with the Secretary of State. Tracy.
Thanks very much, Paul. Secretary of State, welcome to the programme. No actual mention of the Troubles Bill in the speech itself. Why not?
Well, as is always the case with the King's speech, not all of the individual measures are mentioned. The King says at the end, and other measures will be laid before you. And the Troubles Bill, it's going to be a carryover bill. Parliament has voted to carry it over, and it will come back early in this new session.
Some people are interpreting the fact that the words aren't actually said in the speech as the government cooling off this legislation.
No, that is not the case. We need this. We need this to create a system for providing answers for families who've been searching for a very long time. We need it to create a system that all sections of the community in Northern Ireland can have confidence in. We need it to put in place protections for veterans.
Yes, but does Sir Keir Starmer need this just right now when he is fighting for his political life?
Well, this is the right thing to do for Northern Ireland. This is the last chance we've got to deal with the unfinished business of legacy of the Troubles. I mean, the people who negotiated the Good Friday Agreement knew it needed to be done. They weren't able to deal with it then. There have been attempts since. This is the last chance because many people are getting old.
Yeah.
And we need to come up with a system that can command widespread confidence. And we need to address the things about the last government's legislation, and in particular immunity, which has no support in Northern Ireland. And has been found to be incompatible with our human rights obligations.
But as we stand here now, Secretary of State, you cannot say with full confidence that Keir Starmer will be in post long enough to see this legislation through.
Well, that is a matter for any processes that happen. I am backing the Prime Minister to continue in his job. I think he's the right leader for the country. We had bad election results, not the first government that's had a kicking in mid-term local elections. The question is, how do you respond to that? What is the character of the government? And we've seen today in the King's speech the measures that have been announced. This is a government that is absolutely committed to carrying on changing the country for the better.
But the fact is that even before the King started speaking, the news was leaking out that Wes Streeting, your ministerial colleague, is preparing to resign tomorrow. It's all a bit of a mess, isn't it?
Well, look, we'll have to see. I read a lot of things in the newspapers. Tracy, we'll have to see what happens. The question is, what is the right thing to do? We need to take a deep breath. And the fact is, we can look back at the past, Prime Minister after Prime Minister after Prime Minister. It did the country no good. It did our international reputation no good.
Let me ask you this. You have been 26 years an MP. You have served 3 Prime Ministers. Are you not embarrassed standing here today watching what the Labour Party is doing to itself?
Well, we are a party that likes to debate and discuss and sometimes disagree. But I'm proud to be standing here supporting Keir Starmer because he won a mandate just under 2 years ago. We've begun the process of changing the country, and he's committed to carrying on with that task, because the measure of a government is, have you got a serious leader for serious times? And if you look at what Keir Starmer has done to retrieve Britain's international reputation in those 2 years compared to what was the case before, that's already brought big benefit to the country.
Okay. Secretary of State, thank you very much for your time.
So, Tracy, the Secretary of State has made it clear that the government is full steam ahead on the Troubles Bill.
Yes, and let's be honest, Paul, he is obviously going to say that, because he can't say, well, yes, we are going to bring forward this legislation, but it's never going to see the light of day. He is the minister responsible for this legislation, and he is the man that has to see it through. Now, he was very clear there, oh, no, we're not going cold on this legislation. But the people that I've been speaking to today, they see it differently. They see the fact that the King did not actually use the word Troubles Bill as the government trying to step back a bit from this legislation, not exactly put the royal stamp on it.
But there's something surreal, is there not, about the King's speech being delivered during a leadership crisis?
Paul, I'll be honest, the whole day was surreal, to be honest, because the bands were actually practicing here. It was all going full steam ahead for all the pomp and pageantry of the state opening of Parliament when the news started to come through that Wes Streeting, who had been in Downing Street earlier on for a 16-minute meeting with the Prime Minister, that he was letting it be known that he is going to resign tomorrow. And there is a feeling, a very strong feeling, that he is going to launch a campaign. And then we had the Prime Minister coming and giving his speech and the jokes that you normally see at the state opening of Parliament, and yet all the while this crisis is brewing.
Finally, Hilary Benn couldn't have been clearer about his loyalty to the Prime Minister, but a challenge does look likely.
Yes, absolutely. And as you say, he has said it again and again. He is standing by Sir Keir Starmer. And yes, we are expecting Wes Streeting to, first of all, resign, and then to say that he is going to challenge for the leadership. And then the question is, if he does that, what happens next? Because we know that Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester, cannot actually stand in the leadership election because he isn't in Parliament. So the question then is, does somebody else stand in? It's thought that Angela Rayner, because she is still trying to battle with the whole questions over her tax affairs, that someone else will have to come in for the soft left. It could be Ed Miliband. And all the while, this government, with a massive, massive majority, will be looking inward while the rest of the country looks on.
Tracy McGee, live at Westminster. Thank you very much.
UTV was the first to reveal shocking details of what is believed to be one of the biggest sex abuse investigations mounted by the police ombudsman. At its heart, a former police officer, potential multiple victims and various alleged historical crimes, including one allegation of rape.
Tonight we have several exclusives. An ex-colleague says she raised concerns with bosses about a danger to women after seeing a sexually explicit image. And the former officer at the centre of this has broken his silence to robustly deny all the allegations. Our crime and security correspondent Sharon O'Neill has this special report.
Police always under pressure. Violence against women a priority. But report after report points to massive problems internally with sexism and misogyny. Here at the office of the Police Ombudsman, all available resources are being directed towards one case, that of a former senior officer accused of a catalogue of serious sexual offences, including rape, allegedly carried out while on duty. Details first disclosed by UTV. We revealed how that officer's career came to an end some years ago, following an investigation which included the discovery of alleged sexually explicit images. A misconduct hearing was held and he was required to resign, an option that's since been abolished. How that criminal investigation was handled at the time is being looked at again by Ombudsman investigators to make sure that everything that could have been done was done first time around. Now that is separate to the criminal one and the string of alleged sex offences. And tonight we have more.
And I personally have regrets about it. I think more should have been done. It should have been done quicker.
A former senior detective with knowledge of the case told UTV this.
The individual should not have been allowed, in my opinion, to be required to resign. The individual should have been dismissed, and that was a mistake.
He says he viewed a sexually explicit image.
I actually couldn't believe it when I saw it. And then once I sort of processed it, I realised that the person the picture had been taken of, it was obviously taken by that person who was wearing a police uniform in what looked to me like a police establishment, given the surroundings. But shocked wouldn't be the word for it.
It affects me to this day. It always will. I can't forget it.
This former officer is talking about a sexually explicit image she says she saw, allegedly connected to that same colleague.
It was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous what I saw. And the implications from it was horrendous.
In what sense, the implications?
And the implications were that I was in a job with standards and with responsibilities to other people, vulnerable people, and that what I thought was a vulnerable person.
Worried, she says she raised the issue further up the chain.
I told senior officers that of what my fear was. And my fear was that there was a danger to women.
And you said it as straight as that?
I said it as straight as that.
She wants to know what was done with the information she specifically told her superiors.
I thought it was gone until this story broke. And I just have those vivid flashbacks of what I saw.
We put all of what both former officers said to police. Chief Superintendent Stephen Murray, Head of Professional Standards, says that they are fully cooperating with the Ombudsman. In terms of the bigger picture, he says where any wrongdoing and misconduct is proven, robust action will be taken. We also put all the questions raised in our story to the Ombudsman's office. Chief Executive Hugh Hume said in a statement, "Those who have brought their concerns to us did so in difficult circumstances. Their voices are and will remain at the centre of our inquiries. These are significant, complex and sensitive investigations. It would be inappropriate to comment further while our inquiries are ongoing." The former officer at the heart of all of this has broken his silence. Through his solicitor, he robustly denies the allegations and is fully cooperating with the Ombudsman. Meanwhile, two former officers raising questions about the original handling of this case. A case that now appears much bigger than anyone first thought. Sharon O'Neill, UTV Live.
A UK-operated cruise ship which set sail from Belfast on Friday has had to stop in France after a number of people became ill. More than 1,700 people are being held on board after 49 of them were struck down with gastroenteritis. The Ambassador Cruise Line says authorities in Bordeaux have instructed all passengers and crew to remain on the vessel while various samples are tested at a local hospital. The ship stopped in Liverpool on Saturday as part of its 14-night voyage to France and Spain.
The owner of a County Londonderry car showroom destroyed in an overnight fire says he is devastated.
It's believed the fire in Garvagh was started deliberately. 55 firefighters and 6 appliances were deployed to tackle it. They'd extinguished this fire by 8 o'clock this morning. No one was hurt. Rory O'Regan reports.
A car showroom and cafe engulfed in flames. In the cold light of day, the damage was clear. A building totally destroyed.
I could have cried. I could have cried last night. But see, it's all good now. It's all good now. We're okay. Everybody's safe, and that's the main thing.
The emergency services were called to the scene at around 4:30 this morning. 55 firefighters were needed to tackle the blaze alongside 6 appliances. They managed to extinguish it before 8 a.m. It's believed it was started deliberately.
Just the very nature of the fact you've got a big fire in the premises here, plus then there's also then a separate fire in a trailer and a car that's further away. So it just leads us to believe we can go by the most probable cause, and that our most probable cause at the minute is being deliberate, and that's why we've handed it over to PSNI for them to deal with.
On the inside, you can see the ceiling has collapsed inwards. Glass is everywhere, as are burnt remains. It's a sorry sight. Though the building may be destroyed, the owner says he's still working and that it's business as usual. Rory O'Regan, UTV Live, Garvagh.
Time now to look at the headlines making tonight's ITV News at 6:30.
Here's Mary Nightingale.
Evening news. The PM says he has full confidence in Wes Streeting, despite reports of a leadership challenge, as the King made his speech to Parliament. The Parliamentary Standards Watchdog has launched an investigation into Nigel Farage over an undeclared £5 million gift. And the Princess of Wales begins her 2-day visit to Italy, her first overseas since her cancer diagnosis. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Moving to sport now, and in golf, the second major of the year will begin tomorrow as the PGA Championship gets underway in Philadelphia.
Rory McIlroy is hoping to win a second major in a row after he won the Masters last month, but his practice round yesterday was interrupted due to a foot injury. Daniel Duffy reports.
Was Back on the range at the PGA Championship, Rory McIlroy only managed to play 3 holes of his practice round yesterday due to a toe injury, and he has revealed he will have to wear one shoe bigger than the other for the tournament. He comes into the major off the back of his victory at the Masters and believes he is in a good place coming into this week.
Coming into this tournament feels a lot different than what it did last year, and I feel like I've got some nice clear road ahead to try to get some more of these majors.
It has been a whirlwind 13 months for McIlroy, with 2 Masters titles and a Ryder Cup, and he's enjoying every minute of it.
This isn't going to last forever. There's going to be a day where I'm not sitting up here and I'm not competing for major championships and I'm not doing what I'm doing. So I guess while I'm doing it, I have to enjoy it as well. So yeah, it's been amazing, but there's still a lot of things I want to achieve, but if I can enjoy it along the way, then that's a nice thing to do.
McIlroy begins his first round at 20-2 on Thursday. Daniel Duffy, UTV Live.
Meanwhile, Team NI secured its first ever Commonwealth Games medals in the pool 4 years ago in Birmingham. They're hoping for more of the same in Glasgow this summer. Bethany Firth, who won gold in Birmingham, is now balancing being a full-time athlete and a mother.
It is really hard balancing being an athlete and a mum being an athlete. You have to be very selfish. You have to rest when you need to rest, and you have to train when you need to train. And with Charlotte, I can't always do that, but I definitely think she's changed my outlook into sport, and I feel like so many women, we can come back and we can do it, and I think it excites me with the movement in women's sport, just moving forward. So I'm just really excited to go there and see what happens.
Now, it's one of the most important dates in the agricultural calendar, with thousands expected over the coming days.
The Icon Centre opened its doors this morning. We sent Rita Fitzgerald to savour the sights and sounds of the first day of the Balmoral Show.
The sun came out to celebrate day one of the extravaganza that is the Balmoral Show, the biggest event of the year for the agri-food industry. Over 100,000 people are expected here over the next 4 days to enjoy what is months of hard work behind the scenes. And for many, it's paying off already.
Hiya Greer, you have just been showing Coca. How did you do?
I worked there. Last there, so.
And I think they were pretty happy with that.
Yeah. So.
What do you mean with the show so far?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, it's been great to be back. It's just the buzz and the atmosphere. And
biggest and best shop window, I suppose?
Yeah, it is surely, yeah.
Good man. Well, you're a beauty, Coca. Good luck.
This is Upper Mill Globetrotter. He got reserve overall champion and male champion in the shorthorn breed classes.
Are you delighted?
Oh, happy so on.
From show jumping to impressive stunts, there's so much to enjoy, and that's before you hit the food hall.
Balmoral Show is the place to be for food and everything agriculture. Amazing. We're here with our Irish Blackwater. It goes with everything. Love being here, love meeting everybody. It's a fabulous showcase opportunity.
Good man. I'm going to have a wee taste, and I bet that's delicious. Wow! Organic apple cider vinegar. Ooh, must have a taste of that. Oh my goodness, that's absolutely gorgeous.
All made completely with apples, all grown here in Ireland.
And organic too.
And organic too.
Don't mind if I do.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Delicious. You're showing blonde Aquitaines today.
Yes, that's right. They're a French breed, imported originally back in the 70s into the south of Ireland, and then my father actually brought them into Northern Ireland in the very late 70s, and we've had them ever since.
Absolutely beautiful beasts, aren't they? Are you confident showing today?
I'll tell you after the judging.
Do you like the alpacas?
Yeah.
What do you like about them?
They're very fluffy.
They're very fluffy. Hey, Jake, do you like tractors?
Yes, because my dad has tractors.
And are you going to have one when you grow up?
Yeah.
Good lad.
As well as celebrating the excellence of our industry, today challenges facing farmers are greater than ever.
We're very conscious of those challenges, and particularly in relation to fuel, feed and fertiliser. There's a real need for the UK government to step up and give us that new and additional support for our farming community. I'll be making that case to the UK government tomorrow. Alongside that, we also have other issues, particularly in relation to animal disease and health. I want to reassure the farming community we're taking action in regards to that, and we're with them in terms of this journey ahead.
It's been an excellent first day here at the Balmoral Show. And there's plenty more fun to come over the next few days. Rita Fitzgerald, UTV Live.
And for a full roundup of all 4 days of the action, you can watch our programme, UTV at the Show, next Sunday the 24th of May at 7 o'clock.
Now let's have a look at the weather.
Here's Louise.
When it's unpredictable outside, you can rely on the comforts of home. UTV Weather, sponsored by the Grant Arona R290 heat pump.
Hello there, good evening. It certainly didn't feel very spring-like today. We had some heavy blustery showers with a mix of hail in there earlier today. Feeling quite cool and chilly over the next couple of days, holding on to the breeze. And as it comes from a northerly direction, it will really take the edge off the temperatures. We have an area of low pressure sinking southwards over the next few days. Quite a lot of cloud, further outbreaks of rain at times. And it will remain fairly cool and chilly with temperatures below average for this time of year. Further showers will filter in from the northwest overnight tonight. Quite brisk blustery winds along the coast over the tops of the hills. But temperatures will hold up in low single digits, lows of around 4 to 7 degrees Celsius. So it should stay frost free. Further showers developing tomorrow. We'll have a few brighter breaks to start the day, some fair weather cloud, but into the afternoon the showers will become more frequent. Once again, some heavier showers there for a time before slowly starting to ease off as we head through the latter part of the afternoon. With the brisk blustery winds gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour around the coast, it will feel quite cool and chilly, highs of just 11 or 12 degrees Celsius. Across the rest of Ireland, sunny spells and scattered blustery showers, brisk winds, feeling quite fresh around coastal areas, temperatures reaching highs of 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. Over the next couple of days, we have quite a lot of cloud in the forecast on Friday. Less showers, however, we can expect 1 or 2 here and there. Saturday gets off to a dry and bright start, clouding over into the afternoon as a band of rain slowly starts to edge in from the west. Further sunny spells and scattered showers on Sunday. Temperatures below average for this time of year. The pollen forecast is next.
UTV Weather, sponsored by the Grant Arona R290 heat pump.
Making the most of summer, Perry sponsors UTV pollen count.
And due to these unsettled conditions over the next couple of days, pollen levels will remain low as we head into the start of the weekend. It's slowly starting to move towards grass pollen season. Bye-bye.
That's the latest early evening news, sport and weather on UTV this Wednesday the 13th of May. Paul will have the late local bulletin at 10:30.
The ITV News continues with Mary Nightingale, from Rose, from me and the rest of the team on UTV Live. Good evening.
Have a good evening.